everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I am Meg, and today I am showing you how to refinish a cabinet just like this one. This is a 1927-year-old cabinet, and the finish needs some work. It does need a makeover, and I'm going to try and restore as much of the wood as possible because it is old and it is just absolutely gorgeous. So first of all, I took off the glass panel, and there's trim that has nails around the edges. They are pretty easy to remove. You just have to be really careful that you don't snap them because they are difficult to replace unless you can get some really thin trim at Home Depot. So I used my putty knife just to peel away the trim, and then I removed the glass panel and then that wood design. So this is what it looks like without it. And there were two shelves, and I put those back in just so I could figure out what I was doing and what it would look like. Now the two shelves do need a bit of work as well, just some scratches and scuffs. And so as you can see there, they definitely need a clean. So I placed those inside, and I'm going to spruce them up a little bit with some gel stain. So once those were in, I used Windex because at this time I was completely out of my cred cutter, which I now have, but at this time I had not had it, so the Windex worked perfectly. I got all the dust off, really cleaned this whole cabinet up, and it just looked really good once it was clean. Now you can see there a bit of the finish. It just really needed some work. So I took off the hardware. I'm definitely keeping the original hardware. It is a must because this piece is quite old and the hardware just matches and looks perfect with it. So then I scuff sanded the finish at the front and on the sides because the finish was crackling a little bit. It was the old stain and top coat that was crackling, and sometimes that can show through your finish, your paint finish. Now I'm not actually going to prime this piece because if you give your furniture a really good scuff sanding, you can get away with no priming. Now I always prime, but this piece I felt like I didn't have to, and I made sure that I just gave it a really good scuff sand. I think it's because I am restoring most of the wood that I didn't want to put primer on it. So as you can see at the top here, it is crackling a little bit, and you can see right there it's peeling, and that's the old top coat. So I'm definitely going to be sanding the top of this so that it's raw wood and you can see that wood grain and get rid of that old crackly finish. So I was showing gel polyurethane here, but I actually meant to show you Old Masters gel stain, and I realized I didn't have any. But while I'm showing you this is a really good gel polyurethane as a top coat over gel stain, and it's Old Masters, and they have a really good gel stain as well. So I did end up going out and getting, I couldn't get the Old Masters, but I did get Minwax, which was a really good one. That it was the first time using it. I really liked it. So here I am just sanding the top. I had to get a step ladder because this cabinet was so tall that I couldn't reach and I couldn't work like that. Oh, hello. So my husband, Mr. Lovely, was filming me here, just standing on top of the ladder. Yes, I was standing on top of the ladder and he was filming me. So I got the top sanded to completely raw wood. Now I did leave the back trim as it was, as I only had to scuff sand that because I'm going to put gel stain over it. So I scuff sanded the entire piece on the sides, the fronts. I did that again, and then I used about 220 grit sanding paper, as I always do for scuff sanding. Don't use 80 grit, it will completely scratch your finish up. Then I scuff sanded the legs and the base because I am keeping them original. I am not painting the base and the legs. They are so beautiful and they just need a spruce up with some gel stain. So with gel stain, all you need to do is scuff sand. You don't even have to go down to raw wood to apply it. That's what's so good about gel stain. Then I gave this piece another clean because it was very dusty from scuff sanding, and I just wanted to make sure that the finish wasn't grimy or dirty or dusty for my paint finish. So once I had cleaned all of that and let it dry, I got the gel stain out. Now this is the Minwax Gel stain, like I said before, and it's in Walnut. They do have other stain tones like coffee. The coffee one, I guess, is popular because it was a bit more expensive, and this is the really small can. So all I did was use a lint-free cloth, dipped it into the gel stain, and rubbed it onto the legs. I then did the base as well. And it's super easy to use. All you do is just rub it on. Make sure you stir it really well in the can. And that's it. And it just gives a really beautiful sheen to it and a new look. And that's what's great about gel stain, is you don't have to sand down to raw wood. Make sure you're using a lint-free cloth though, so that you don't get any lint or bits onto your surface. Then it was time to do the top. Now I did want the top down to raw wood because I wanted it to have that raw wood look with just a bit of the gel stain on top. And again, I just dipped my cloth into the can and then rubbed it on. As you can see below, I did sand off that crackly finish. And the finish isn't going to be completely perfect on this piece because it is quite old, but it turned out really amazing and I love how it looks. So while that was drying on the base and the top, I started to paint. Now, because I'm leaving the inside raw wood and I'm leaving, the original finish, and I'm leaving the base and the top, I didn't want to cover all of that up. So I decided to hand brush. I'm using a new zebra brush that I won as an award for a picture, a close-up drama or furniture art picture from Zibrapainting. And I loved this brush. It was my first time using it. And it was so soft. It's the round brush from Zibrapainting. And I really, really enjoyed using this brush. Also, I used a brush because there wasn't a lot of areas on the cabinet that needed painting. And sometimes I do enjoy brushing with a hand brushing with a brush. So the paint that I am using here is County Chic Paint in Liquorice. And it has really great coverage. I didn't need to prime like I said before, and it was really good adhesion, especially since I had scuff sanded a lot of the areas that I'm painting. It went on beautifully on the second coat as well. So I really felt like this piece did not need primer, and I just did not want, I don't know what it was, I just did not want to put primer on this piece. And if you've seen my other videos, you know I prime all the time. But this was going on really well, and I think it's because the finish was older and I knew that it would have better adhesion. Plus it's also black paint, and so you wouldn't see bleed through coming through anyway. So there I am. I just brushed on County Chic Paint Clear Coat because I'm adding some tissue paper. Now this tissue paper design I felt was very, very fitting and perfect for this look that I was going for. I felt like it looked vintage and just perfect design for an old piece like this cabinet. So all I did was brush the clear coat onto the surface, placed the tissue paper onto the panel, where I wanted it and used my X-Acto knife on my utility knife to cut it to size. So once that was on great, I brushed on clear coat again to seal it. So I wanted a bit of the wood showing through, so I decided to wet distress. And wet distressing is super easy. You just take a lint-free cloth, spray it with water, and then rub the wet cloth onto the paint surface and just keep rubbing away a few times. You can even spray the paint, and as you can see here, the wood is coming through. And I find that that's a really good way to distress the paint as well. So here I am just spraying the clear coat. Once the tissue paper was on both sides, I started to spray the top coat, and the top was all dry as well, so I sprayed that as well. The inside I had run over the gel stain over the shelves just to spruce them up a little bit, and I only did about 1 coat of the gel stain on the base and the top, but you can actually do 2 coats if you feel it's needed. I also sprayed the legs and the base with the clear coat as well, as you can see right here, and it just gives that extra durability and protects it, and it gives a little bit of a shine as well. If you want to learn how to use this sprayer, I also have another video and I will put the link above here. I then sprayed the top that was dry, and I did 1 coat of the gel stain and left that back trim with the original finish, but just went over it lightly with some gel stain on a cloth. I then sprayed it as I'm showing here with the clear coat. I did about 2 coats for that top. While that was drying, I went over inside the cupboard at the bottom with the gel stain on a cloth again, just to spruce up the inside and make it a bit more cleaner and shinier. So once it was all dry, it looks like this. I love the result. I love how it turned out. The paper on the sides dried, so the colors came out better. And the bottom is just so shiny, clean, and looks brand new again. I love the distressed pieces around the edges. And this piece actually has sold, so I am really happy about that. Thank you so much for watching my video. I will see you I will see you on Friday for the Cozy Winter Challenge at 4:00 p.m. Eastern, and I will be putting that in my community post as well to remind you. So thanks again, enjoy your weekend, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.